What's going on, everybody? It's Oscar back here with another video, and today it's Monday. So you already know TDN drops new mock draft. We're gonna go look at it. This time it's a brand new one, dropped by Keith Sanchez. So I said that was gonna be reducing the amount of times I was doing mock the mock on TDN. Sanchez, we're gonna see how he goes. He's a brand new guy, obviously on the squad. Never seen him before. So let's have some fun. If you guys are new, like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know that jazz. And of course, we're having some more team-based mocks this week. Just have some fun with it. Let's kick into it, though. Starting off with the #1 overall pick, we got Evan Neal. Let's go. I already recorded a Jaguars video that was supposed to drop yesterday. Didn't do the work on the thumbnail yet, so that's going to be probably dropping tomorrow. Regardless, spoiler alert, this is the first overall pick. God bless this man. Let's go. Huge fan of so far what Keith Sanchez has done. I mean, y'all know me. I think offensive line, defensive line are the two most crucial positions to acquire if you cannot get a franchise quarterback, or if your lines suck, get those before you get another quarterback. Regardless, Evan Neal is a stud-ass prospect. Huge fan of this pick. Yes, protect Trevor Lawrence. God bless also TDN allowing him to have a little bit of lack of etiquette when it comes to how he's writing, because I love the all caps. Emphasize it. Big fan of that. #2, Derek Stingley to the Lions. I'm not going to hate on it, and this is why. I think KT is a much better choice, but edge as well as safety are much deeper in this class, and I think that corner is something that it's lacking until the 3rd or 4th round. Like you get the 1st round, and then you get like 3rd or 4th. That's what I meant. It's like obviously it's really stacked at the top, but safety really deep, as well as you look at edge, which is also pretty damn deep. Big fan of the potential of this pick. I'm not going to totally disagree with it. I think KT is a better option. But again, I think there needs to be more than one round on these mocks, because I really want to see how this progresses. Because, again, there are going to be dudes on the board. Right now, I can say that I'm not a huge fan of this pick. But we don't know who's going to be there at the beginning of the 2nd round. Because if you get Kingsley and Nagbear and Derek Stingley, it's going to be better than KT, as well as like Mikhail Wright. So whatever. I think that's not a terrible pick at all. Again, not hating on it. KT is the next pick. Again, like the Texans are a team that are just patching little holes with free agents, and that's not the way to win. I don't think a quarterback's worth a #3 overall pick right at this moment, and that's me loving my boy from high school, Matt Corral. KT is, I believe, the right pick. He has a monster. He has the ceiling of Jadeveon Clowney, but he's getting picked to #3 overall instead of 1. I'm a huge fan of it. So big fan of that pick. Next, you got Kyle Hamilton. I appreciate how it hasn't been a bunch of BS picks so far. Kyle Hamilton is worth this pick. Again, Derek Stingley or Kyle Hamilton, that's a toss-up. We'll see. Like, I would probably go Derek Stingley now, just given, again, you got Jordan Battle coming off. You got Jalen Catalon doing really well. There are a lot of safeties that are doing a damn good job. Jaquan Brisker taking a huge step this year as well. Obviously, he plays more of a strong role, but regardless, I'm not going to hate on this pick. He is a generational talent. I think that his value at his position is better than even the opportunity cost of not taking a guy like Kyrie Elam at the spot or trading back, which I don't think there are trades in this one. So big fan of this pick. Again, Giants, DeMarvin Leal, fan of it. So good start to this draft. Again, we all kind of know what's going on. I think that he can play edge as well as interior defensive line. Wherever you're looking at, I think DeMarvin Leal could be a really good acquisition. He could be a good fit there. #6, the Dolphins getting Desmond Ritter. There we go. So obviously I'm going to heavily disagree with this pick. I just don't think Desmond Ritter is that great of a talent, and I'm a Desmond Ritter fan. Some of y'all are Desmond Ritter super fans, and y'all need to relax, because Desmond Ritter, A, he's older, B, he's not elite in one category, and C, he has a really good squad around him. So he is a very good quarterback. It's just I don't think he translates as well to the NFL as he is in college right now. So that's where I'm going to disagree with him. But it's like, you know what? He has done a good job with the way he's analyzed the previous picks. I think that quarterback rankings should be different. I wouldn't disagree if the Falcons went quarterback. I wouldn't. So I'm going to say understandable position, not the right player. So again, people's rankings differ. It's not like I should kill somebody if they disagree with the ranking. They have the same idea in mind. I think a quarterback change could be a legit option. So Desmond Ritter, not my choice, but I would rather say go after a dude like Malik Willis or Matt Corral at that pick. I still think that corner should be the right position, but quarterback would be right behind it. Number 7, the Eagles getting Andrew Booth. Again, right position, wrong player in my mind. I just don't like Andrew Booth has a lot of potential. If he does get drafted here, I'm not going to disagree with it. I just think that Kyrie Elam and Sauce Gardner have jumped him. And again, that's personal preference. I still think Andrew Booth is a top 20 to 25 player. That is damn good, right? That is okay to take in the top 10 if you think it's a perfect fit. And especially if it's a need. It's a huge need and it's a great fit. And he's young. Perfectly fine with that selection. I would just choose somebody like Sauce Gardner or else Kyrie Elam. Number 8, the Eagles back on the board. Also, the Eagles might have an even higher pick than this. Getting Chris Olave. So this one I'm going to disagree with. I think guys like Aiden Hutchinson on the board, getting another edge talent definitely could be a really good tactic, given Derek Barnett probably not coming back and all that jazz. Like obviously BG probably not going to come back after his Achilles tear. So there's just, I think he got an Achilles tear. Might be an ACL. Regardless, after a season-ending injury, after he's already looked a bit old, I think that the edge group is one where you can start addressing it again. Chris Olave, I mean, I wouldn't completely hate it. Wouldn't completely. I don't think Chris Olave is the best receiver in the class. I think that he's probably the best for what the Eagles would look for, though. Like similar to way I wasn't a huge fan of Justin Jefferson back at the draft time. So yeah, that was one of my biggest misses when I first started out. But I thought he was worth a first-round pick for the Eagles. It's just each team has a different draft board. And Chris Olave is more of like an all-around type of receiver, good separator, something that the Eagles don't have as much versus like, I mean, Chris Olave and what's the name? Devontae Smith would work really well as a separating tandem, but I just don't think that they need to separate like a after the catch guy like Garrett Wilson. Long story short, I think that he's a good fit. I just don't think that the value is right. I don't think that the position is right. So not a huge fan of that pick. However, again, I think that the idea is solid. Number 9, the Bengals getting Darien Canard. I want to see if he's talking about so offensive tackle. So it says interior offensive lineman in here. He's believing Darien Canard can play a tackle. I've seen a major progression in him. I 100% understand and support this pick. They need a tackle. They need offensive line like nobody's business. So getting a guy like Darien Canard, 345 pounds, and has extreme upside, made some major progression steps. He fits exactly their need. He fits exactly what you're looking for. I personally would go Tyler Linderbaum, but again, I understand where they're going. Get offensive line. TDN is very high on Darien Canard. I'm going to stick to that. So good pick. Giants getting Aiden Hutchinson. Isn't that a dream? Look at that. Your defensive front never needs somebody ever again. DeMarvin Leal, I guess you're putting him at interior, which, again, not a terrible move. We got rid of BJ Hill. Aiden Hutchinson going to be on the outside as well. That's a dream. That's a dream combo. So if Hutchinson were already taken, you guys are just going to have to actually watch the video coming this week because I have absolutely no idea when the hell, like what the draft order is going to be, but it's fun. I'm not going to spoil for you guys who I'd pick in this situation. But I think that this is a great, like, again, trusting the draft board and saying, hey, the Eagles want one more wide receiver. I think this is a 10 out of 10 pick. I think that he's worth a top 5 pick right now. He's just dominating. He's a really, really good player. And somebody who I was low on at the beginning of the season, that's how you know I'm not biased. I don't give a damn about my thoughts before. What matters is seeing how they progress. And he's progressed tremendously. Big fan of that. Same thing with Darien Canard. Number 11, Washington, Malik Willis. That's a dream pick as well. Good pick. Really good pick. I like that a lot. You need a quarterback, and he's going to be able to command it. Ooh. Steelers getting Brandon Smith. I would not like that pick personally at all. I think the Steelers need a quarterback as well as offensive line. Again, I understand offensive line pretty much going to be off the board. Otherwise, I would look at Darien Canard if you think he's an actual tackle. Yeah, I think that wouldn't be a too shabby of a fit. I just think Matt Corral fits perfectly what the Steelers are looking for. Brandon Smith. That is interesting to say the least. After the Steelers already traded for Joe Schobert. That is, I don't agree with it at all. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't think it's a perfect fit at all. But, I mean, the Steelers do like Penn State guys. I just find it interesting. This is it's something where I can understand Brandon Smith being hyped up by teams and taken this high because he is young. He has 4.3 speed and there's a lot of upside to him. It's just, I don't see it happening. So I'm giving this kid the benefit of the doubt because he has some actually fun picks. It's just not stupid. Again, Steelers love Penn State linebacker safeties, so not going to hate on it too much, but just not a good pick. Raiders getting Drake London. I can see this happening. I can. It's hard to see him going at 13th overall, but we've seen much worse with TDN with him going 8th overall. He's an absolute stud, and he's extremely tall, good at the catch point. You know, he and Darren Waller on the field would be really nasty. He could be a true number 1 wide receiver. That's why I say it's possible. But I don't know if the Raiders are going to be going after Drake London, because you do have a rising star there from the kid from South Carolina that I'm bugging on. Regardless, you guys have a lot of dudes who are pretty damn talented in that receiving core. I don't know if receiver is the exact position you need to go in the first round. However, I'm not going to tear it apart because Drake London would be an upgrade from what they have. So, not too shabby. Now the Eagles getting Drake Jackson. So he does address the edge position. That's a good sign for him. But I'm just not that high on Drake Jackson. I know that TDN is pretty high on Drake Jackson. I know a lot of people are high on Drake Jackson. I'm glad that he's starting to come out this year. That's a very good sign for me. Haven't seen him on the dominance level of Aiden Hutchinson, but it's good to see some consistency from game to game. It's a good fit. It's a good fit. You're looking to replace Derek Barnett. Drake Jackson can do that. Number 15, Panthers going Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I'm going to disagree on this one. This team has unbelievable weapons everywhere, apart from tight end pretty much. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Ian Thomas, and I know they got the guy from Notre Dame last year. I was actually a pretty big fan of him as well, but I just don't think an offensive weapon is what they need. I think an offensive lineman. So going after Kenyon Green, I think might be the best choice because he played really well at left tackle, right? That's a position they need. Cameron Fleming's not the long-term option. And worst case scenario, their guards are not doing too hot either. So I think that might be the perfect fit, is going after a guy like Kenyon Green at that spot. But yeah, again, we're all going to have different ideas of what we're looking for. If they think that you're going to get rid of Robbie Anderson and get him, maybe we can talk. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that pick. Number 16, the Jets going Karlaftis. I can't blame him. Honestly, he can't. If the dude gets triple teamed, that's a good sign that this dude has unbelievable talent. Like, if offensive coordinators are scheming triple teams on this dude, then we all know that Karlaftis can do it. It's just, again, the injuries are something that people are really going to start harping on. He has not really completed a full season yet. I'm happy for him because he's doing really well this year. We'll see. Number 17, Kyrie Elam to the Patriots. I'd hate it because it's an excellent fit, and I know Kyrie Elam would be a top 5 corner in the NFL within the next 3 years. He's an absolute stud. So I just think that, again, there's teams up here, like even the Raiders, the Steelers, you could say the Bengals as well, that could all use a guy like Kyrie Elam. So it's weird that he's dropping, but it's understandable. Jackson Kirkland to the Broncos. I just don't. With Matt Corral on the board, I would go Matt Corral all day, every day. But Jackson Kirkland's lost his consideration as a legit tackle until the second round. You have to take a shot on this dude. If you can't stand college power, you're not going to do jack shit in the NFL. It's why I wasn't a very big fan of Charles Cross until he's learned how to have an anchor. Don't know how that's possible, but you know what? Big tip of the cap to Charles Cross, because I'm going to give him some credit. That's some dude who I had. He was originally a tackle too. Then I dropped him to like the 3rd or 4th round, and now I'm bringing him back up to like the late 1st. He's learned how to have an anchor. Jackson Kirkland hasn't. He's extremely athletic. You need to use him in a very particular scheme. This is not the scheme for him. You need to have him in a mobile pocket because he's great on the move. He just does not have an anchor to be one-on-one, or else you need him to be a guard. This is not the spot for him. Number 19, the Vikings going Jordan Davis. It seems like a Zimmer move. If they don't want to have like Michael Pierce there, or I'm forgetting Dalvin Tomlinson, sure. But I think the edge group is just too talented in this draft. So that's why I like seeing the second round, seeing, hey, how are you progressing this draft? What is your strategy for these teams? Number 20, Dolphins getting Pickens. Yeah, not really a huge fan of that one. I seriously don't know how much he upgrades over Devontae Parker. The quarterback's the issue right now, guys. Legitimately, I think that the Dolphins might go quarterback in this draft. If Matt Corral's sitting there, I'm pulling the trigger 10 out of 10 times. You need a spark on this offense. Tua threw for 300 yards. Wonderful. Didn't put up really any points on the board. And, you need to see that more than 1 week. I'm happy to see that he's beginning to do it, but it's just still not enough. You need a guy to put the Dolphins over the top. And he's just not the archetype to do it. You need to build a super team with him on it on a rookie contract for him to actually be at least impactful. I don't think adding George Pickens does that for you. Next, you got Titans going Henry To'oTo'o. I just don't think he's proven enough yet. I'm a huge fan of him. I think his athleticism is wonderful. I'm not a huge fan of my hair right now, as y'all can see, but I just don't know if he's ready. He just transferred to Alabama for 1 year. So going from Tennessee to Alabama. In Tennessee, he had a lot of technical flaws. He was probably worth a third rounder then. I think he's shown that he's been a little bit lost at times, and that to me scares me. I still think he's probably around like a late second round pick for me. So it's a bit of a reach. It's pretty rich for me, but I think Nakobe Dean would be a pretty solid option there. 22, Jahan Dodson to the Saints. Honestly, the Saints do need a weapon. Jahan Dodson is pretty much bailing out his quarterback most of the time. So I'm not going to totally disagree with it. And okay, I thought I was high on Wan'Dale. Wow. Wan'Dale Robinson to the Chargers. So I say he's Phillip Lindsay, like pretty much as a better version of wide receiver. That is interesting, to say the least. You know, I wouldn't absolutely hate this pick at all, because like this, I'm starting to like this guy because he makes some pretty poor picks, but he makes some really fun ones as well. This is like a new spark where this is not groupthink at TDN. I'm very happy about this. Wan'Dale is great in the backfield as well. If you guys should need you guys need to watch his tape at Nebraska. This guy at running back is really, really good, but he a wide receiver for the Chargers. I know they like to do a lot of screens, so it wouldn't be a bad idea. It's just interesting to see him go in the first. If he goes in the 4.2s and has a really good 3-cone, yeah, you never know, man. You never know. That's not a terrible pick. I'm a huge fan of Wan'Dale though, so I'm a little bit biased on that one. Just there's a lot to potentially like right there. Browns getting Sam Howell. Honestly, I wouldn't hate this pick, but in all actuality, you're not getting much of an upgrade from Baker. Sam Howell's comp for me is probably Baker Mayfield. Just a dude who's pretty damn accurate. Baker was better than him in college, but also Baker at Oklahoma and Pat Riley, or Jesus, I'm forgetting the guy's first name, Riley. But you know, that I go after Matt Corral. I'm gonna always stand up for my guy, but I think Matt Corral adds the upside that you'd be looking for if you were the Browns. I just don't think Sam Howell is the dude for you. Regardless, it's not a terrible pick because again, rookie contracts are kind of how you're able to keep a roster at full strength. Yeah, it's just that's interesting. That's interesting. It's a fun pick. I just don't think that it's actually really realistic. Cowboys getting Daxton Hill. I don't totally disagree with this just because of the fact that you guys have a lot of safeties on 1 to 2 year contracts. I would just say he plays a little bit more of that slot corner role, and I don't think Anthony Brown is that big of a liability. You guys, of course, please check me if I'm saying something wrong, because I know Cowboys fans, y'all are some crazy dudes, and we're getting you guys a 7-round mock. I can promise you that. I'm trying to work it out with NFL RT because he's already agreed to come on, but if he doesn't, we'll do one with him in the off season when we do the final ones. But I'm going to just say safety is not going to be my primary position to stare at when it comes to this first overall. Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm not that big of a fan of this pick. If it were a strong safety like Jaquan Brisker, that'd be kind of a fun. I know you guys got like Keanu Neal there and stuff, but yeah, it's not my vibe. Ravens game Magi. I think that the Ravens would be able to do that. Somebody who I think you guys should start looking at is a Kemaquanu. He's actually taking a big step in pass pro this year. I thought he looked terrible last year with the mechanics and stuff. I don't know what's up with it, but these coaches are actually training their guard tackle hybrids to play tackle as like legitimate tackles. So I'm talking about Darien Canard and Kemaquanu, by the way. Even you can talk about Kenyon Green at left tackle. Like these guards who are shifting, or like guard types that are going to tackle, are actually making some very big progressions. And I'm very happy because this class at tackle sucks. So I would look at that. But again, you can't deny the fact that you lost not Tyus Bowser, but I'm bugging on names right now. Of course, accounting exams are killing my mind as it is. But the Ravens going Myjai Sanders wouldn't be a bad idea. Matt Judon was the guy I was thinking of. Good replacement right there. And you already have Dafe away going off. There's a lot of potential with that pick. Cardinals and Kenyon Green, I would not hate it just because of the fact that I love going offensive line. but I don't think offensive line's the primary target. Going after edge, you still have Kingsley and Nagbear on the board. I know y'all don't like me bringing up corner, but going corner wouldn't be a bad idea either. So tight end is a pretty terrible idea in the first, but still, there are more positions in offensive line. They are going best player available, though. Not going to hate on it too much. 28 Packers getting Christian Harris. They do need linebacker. If you have Devondre Campbell as like a starting caliber linebacker, that's not good. That's not good at all. So Christian Harris can offer that to you guys. There's a lot of holes on the Packers, so I'd probably be going offensive line at this point, but choose whatever you want. This Packers team needs a lot of help. Tyler Linderbaum to the Lions, you're going to have to move him to guard because Frank Ragnow is the center, but if you move him to guard, sure. Yeah, I love Tyler Linderbaum. I think that he'd fit on I think every single team besides the ones that have like legit solidified offensive lines can use Tyler Linderbaum anywhere on their offensive line on the interior. So, I just love Tyler. I think he's a top 5 player in this class. He just continues showing week after week that this dude is an absolute dominant threat on the field. And the fact that if his weight at 290 scares you, you start looking at the tackles because they're taller than him and they weigh barely more than him. And this dude's just anchoring the center versus one-on-one on the outside. Tyler Linderbaum's an absolute freak. Bucks getting Sauce Gardner. You guys already know Sauce Gardner is like a top 10 to 15 player for me. So I think that's an excellent value. And the Buccaneers can get some help in the secondary. Just don't think it's realistic that he falls that far. But if he does, great pick. Treylon Burks to the Bills. I just don't think they need another wide receiver. You got Gabriel Davis going off. You have even Dawson Knox being in the receiving game. Obviously, they got Stephon Diggs. And I just don't know if you really want to just Emmanuel Sanders too. Forgot about him. But I don't know if you just want to throw Treylon Burks in there as well. I don't know if that's the exact right position. Wouldn't complain though. Getting another big target is not terrible, but I don't know. Just it makes me a little uneasy. I think there's still some good cornerbacks on the board that you could use. And then 32, Chiefs getting Jaquan Brisker. They need help everywhere on the defense. So you know what? Getting a guy like Jaquan Brisker wouldn't be too terrible. So overall, Keith did a pretty solid job starting out. That's compared to some of the drafts I've seen for TDN, this is one of the better ones in terms of entertainment value, as well as like having some pretty good picks. Has some pretty outlandish ones, but you know what? At least it's fun. It's not the same old, oh my God, the Bills are getting Tyler Linderbaum again. Don't like how he's down here, but yeah, honestly, not as bad as I was expecting for someone's first mock draft. So let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.